Hello everybody, Josh from What Culture here, and we are absolutely stoked to tell you that today's video is brought to you in partnership with Displayed, but we'll tell you and show you more about that in just a little bit.
By all accounts and purposes, Superman is the greatest hero in the history of comic books. He may not necessarily be everyone's favourite, but it's hard to dispute the last son of Krypton's status as the absolute best of the bunch when it comes to saving the day. Despite all of his victories and successes over the years, the Big Blue Boy Scout isn't completely untouchable. Not only has he had the odd defeat over the years, there have been extremely rare occasions where he's been completely humiliated. With that in mind, I'm Dan from What Culture, and here are 10 times Superman was humiliated. Number 10. Being spanked, a prize of peril. The original run of World's Finest Comics is famed for just how bizarre and outlandish the stories being served up by DC Comics were at the time. In issue 201 of this title, it was Superman and Green Lantern who found themselves in the spotlight. A Prize of Peril was the name of this particular story. With the Man of Steel and Hal Jordan butting heads over who should be the Earth's main protector, a Guardian of the Universe turns up to have these two heroes compete in a test to see who is best suited for the job. This test involves Dr. Fate conjuring up a giant dragon, with Superman and Green Lantern having to race through a maze of their worst fears to get to this creature. For Kal-El, it's here we get the bonkers image of him being spanked by a giant version of his father, Jor-El. While the clear message here was that Superman feared not living up to his old man's standards, it was still an odd sight to see that manifest itself in the form of a super spanking. Number 9. Having his jaw broken. King takes pawn. Not only did Action Comics 779 have Superman bested in battle, the Man of Steel was beaten so badly that he was dragged out of the battle for fear of being killed. This all came about as Superman and his friends came to the rescue of Apokolips in the King Takes Pawn storyline. With the country under threat, an all-out battle erupts between the supers and the sinister lineup of Fiora, Cancer, Ignition, and a hefty army. Once these villains are joined by a mysterious masked figure, said stranger punches Superman so hard it breaks the Boy Scout's jaw. Luckily, Kellex, who was with them at the time, managed to teleport Superman and his team out of there before any more damage could be done. Number 8. Becoming a pawn of Poison Ivy. Hush. To some, Hush is one of the best Batman stories of the modern era. Featuring most of the Dark Knight's friends and foes, this Jeff Loeb and Tim Sale tale was a huge deal when it first started to unravel in 2002. Not only did Superman have the humiliation of being easily bested in battle by Batman here, but he also had to deal with the fact that he had been corrupted by Poison Ivy. Many heroes have fallen under Poison Ivy's spell over the years, yet the Man of Steel always seemed impossible to manipulate. In Hush, the last son of Krypton was seduced and sent on a collision course with Batman by Poison Ivy. This whole situation made Kal-El look like a fool. It left him with quite a humbling defeat, with the Caped Crusader famously decking Superman with a kryptonite ring.
So, earlier we mentioned that today's video is sponsored by our pals over at Displayed, who have very kindly been helping us decorate our lovely new studios by sending us some of their incredible metal posters. That's got Adam Cleary all over it. That's really got Adam Cleary all over that one. Of course he did. Now, if you're new to Displayed, there's a few things you do need to know about them. Firstly, they print these incredible posters on metal, because they're working with Trees for the Future to plant trees that help communities all around the world. So far, they've helped plant over 15 million trees, and I'm no mathematician, but that does sound like a lot. Not only that, but their collection is incredible, with over 1.3 million different artworks from brands like Marvel, DC, Bethesda, and Star Wars, to entirely original pieces by artists from around the world. Now, if you've been keeping up with What Culture, you probably know we're building all new studio spaces here. So thanks to Display, we've now got this amazing artwork for our gaming channel, our Star Trek channel, our horror channel, and something right here on What Culture Comics. We've even been able to change them all through the magic of their incredibly easy mounting system. Simply attach the magnet to the wall with their magic leaf and you're good to go. Ta-da! So if you want to check out some of the collections we like and get a discount code to get your own, simply click the link in the description below. Genuinely, we love this stuff and we've barely scratched the surface of the amazing artwork that they've got on offer, so do give them some love. In the meantime though, thanks again to Display for sponsoring this video and making our studios look as lovely as they do, but for now, back to that vid.
Number 7. Super Pawn, the Suicide Snare. Action Comics number 593's The Suicide Snare had a rather random plot point of Superman starring in a sex tape. This plan was put into place by the villainous Sleaze, whose mission objective was to get Superman and Big Barda to feature in an X-rated video. To put together this raunchy footage, this rogue first brainwashed Barda before then doing the same to Superman. Big Barda's husband, Mr. Miracle, did swoop in and save the day in the end. And don't get me wrong, this isn't a knock on the profession, it's more the fact that Superman was manipulated in the first place. Number 6. He got drunk off a few swigs of beer, powerless. Back when the New 52 was introduced to shake up the world of DC Comics, one element of change for Superman was how he had developed a new power. Now able to fire a solar flare from his body, the Man of Steel is shown putting this ability to the test in Superman Volume 3, Issue 40. While this power is pretty darn cool, the downside is that it drains Superman of all of his abilities for 24 hours. Usually impervious to alcohol, the post-solar flare Clark Kent is now capable of getting drunk. And not only that, but his tolerance level to any booze is so ridiculously low to the point where he gets hammered on just a few sips of light beer. Number 5. Jilted for Batman, the Bride of Batman. It kinda says it all that Lois Lane's first solo series was titled Superman's Girlfriend, Lois Lane. It couldn't just be named Lois Lane. Nope, instead it was the Superman's Girlfriend element that was front and center for Lois's own book. In case you hadn't guessed, most of the stories in Superman's Girlfriend Lois Lane saw the titular Lane largely a background player in the greater world of the Big Blue Boy Scout. Lois was quite frankly treated like absolute dirt by the love of her life. So when Lois decided to dump Superman and start dating Bruce Wayne in The Bride of Batman, there was a marvellous sense of karma at the disgruntled Kal-El's predicament. This all came about once Superman cancelled yet another date with Lane so he could fly off with Wonder Woman. Deciding enough was enough, Lois called things off with the Man of Steel and was soon wooed by Bruce, to the point where the pair even wed. Rubbing extra salt into the wound, Superman ends up being Wayne's best man for the wedding. Number 4. Duped into killing millions. Injustice Gods Among Us. In the lore of the Injustice comic book series and video games, the main driving factor to the world going to hell is that Superman decided to rule the world with an iron fist. The reason for that is because the Joker tricked him into killing Lois Lane, the couple's unborn child, and millions of innocent Metropolis citizens. With that, Superman was pushed over the edge. He punched a hole through the Clown Prince of Crime and spiraled down a path of insanity. For the watching world, obviously there was a sense of fear to what this twisted, murderous Man of Steel would do, but there was also a sense of seeing Superman humiliated by the Joker in the most brutal of ways. Number 3. Beat up by Alfred. Injustice Gods Among Us. In year 1 of the Injustice comics, the tyrannical dictator Superman makes his way to the Batcave in order to confront Batman. There, the Dark Knight is battered and beaten by the Man of Steel, with Superman even going as far as to break Batman's back. Deciding he'd seen enough of Superman's terrible behaviour, Alfred steps in and starts dominating Kal-El. Seriously, this could well be the most comprehensive one-sided beating Superman has ever taken. It started with a swift headbutt from Pennyworth, then a few good punches, a broken nose, then some kicks for good measure. Alfred would spend the following 7 months nursing Bruce back to health. Of course, the caveat to all of this is that Alfred had taken a rare pill designed to temporarily give its user the powers of a Kryptonian. Still, that doesn't stop this from being a hugely humiliating moment in the history of Superman. Number 2. Publicly paraded by Gorilla Grodd. Secret Society. In the brilliant Justice League animated show, the series' 42nd and 43rd episodes were a 2-part story known as Secret Society. There, Gorilla Grodd assemble a villainous team of Giganta, Sinestro, Killer Frost, Shade, Parasite and Clayface, all while the Justice League's members struggled to work together. Of course, it wasn't just Superman who was bested by Grodd, as the Secret Society team took down the entire Justice League. Exploiting the fractures within the League, these rogues captured DC's finest heroes and put them on public display at Gotham City's football stadium. For the Justice League, it was majorly humiliating to be so openly mocked by Gorilla Grodd. And it was only down to the smarts of Martian Manhunter that the entire league weren't publicly executed by Grodd. Number 1. Beaten and branded. Apokolips War. With Justice League Dark, Apokolips War, audiences were given a conclusion of an overarching story, which had spanned a whopping 16 movies. As the picture opens up, we find Superman leading the Justice League in an attack on Apokolips, as he decides he wants to put Darkseid down for good. This trip to Apokolips ends with the vast majority of the Justice League dead, Earth conquered by Darkseid, and the Man of Steel tortured. Picking things up 2 years later when the world has gone to hell, the audience has it explained how Darkseid could have easily killed Kal-El, yet he chose to keep him alive purely to torment him. Darkseid has the famed House of El logo branded onto Superman's chest with liquid kryptonite, so that Superman will forever be reminded of his greatest failure. In addition to this, the kryptonite is now in his system, which means Superman is completely powerless when we catch up with him. From there, we see Superman struggle to deal with the pain he has brought to those closest to him, after Darkseid absolutely schooled him in an utterly clinical fashion. And that's our list. Know of any other times Superman was humiliated? Let us know in the comments section below. You can follow me on Twitter @DanJDurkin, and after that you can head on over to whatculture.com for more lists and articles like this every single day. For now though, I've been Dan, and I'll catch you in the next one.